Let's go. Number one thing that is holding you back, and is holding you back from getting whatever it is that you want in your life, whether that's more money, more success, more life experience, a better body, a better physique, whatever it is. The number one thing that is holding you back from achieving any of that is your limiting beliefs. It's your inner beliefs that you hold in your mind. You ever have that feeling where there's something that you want and something that you desire, but there's kind of like this invisible force that's kind of like it feels like you're trying, but you're not. You can never fully attract it. It's like an invisible hand that's just like holding on to you, and it's guiding you throughout your life, but you just kind of feel like you're going around in a circle, and you just can't get that thing that you want. And you know, like consciously, you want it and you desire it, but you can't attract it because deep down in your limiting beliefs, you don't feel like you're worthy of actually achieving it and accepting it for yourself. And so, what is a limiting belief? I'll just give a really common one. Is people have limiting beliefs of having a lot of money equals being immoral, being, you know, very evil and ungodly. So having a lot of money is equal to like not being good, not being righteous. And because they have this image and this belief towards attracting a lot of money and having an abundance of it, because they like deep down in their limiting beliefs, they're never going to have that. They're never going to have a lot of money. They're never going to reach that next level and become prosperous. So that is a very common limiting belief that people have, and most people who are spiritual and religious and grew up in the church or grew up in whatever faith that they believe in, Islam, Jew, I don't know about Jewish, but like, a lot of people who grew up in religious backgrounds, their parents and society teaches them that having a lot of money is not a moral thing. So they repel it. Okay? Everybody has some limiting belief in some capacity. And 99% of people have limiting beliefs and they don't know what it is. They don't know what it is that's holding them back, right? Another example of a limiting belief is, let's say that you know that you want to start a business, or you know that you want to be on social media and just post content or whatever, like you want to just do that, but you keep telling yourself that you're not ready. And so you delay that process of you actually taking action and getting the results, getting the real tangible results from just executing. Like This is a real limiting belief that's holding a lot of people back. Telling yourself that you're not ready, telling yourself that you need more time, that you need more information, you need to plan more. And yes, this is true. It's true that there is a time and a place to plan and structure and write everything down, make sure that, you got everything ready, but the perfect time is never going to come. The perfect time and the only time is when you actually take action and you execute. It's the only fucking thing that matters. So that's another limiting belief that's holding you back from actually getting out there and getting what you ultimately want. So, what you need to do is identify the limiting belief that you have, right? Like, be honest with yourself and sit down at least 1 hour by yourself to write down what is it that's holding you back from whatever you want ultimately. What are the thoughts that you have? What are the beliefs that you have around this thing? Let's say that, going back to the example of money, you want to make a fuck ton of money, you want to get rich, you want to make a lot of money. Write down what are those beliefs that you have about it. What do you believe about this? What are your views on it? What kind of light do you view it as? What kind of lens do you observe this as? Is it negative? Is it positive? And after you identify the beliefs that you have, the limiting beliefs, you want to then analyze, where did these beliefs come from? Like, limiting beliefs, they come from two different sources. Is one, it's from a personal experience that you had. And so, whatever experience you had about that, you would then create that belief, or it's going to come from external sources, which is your parents, it's going to be your culture, it's going to be your social environment, it's going to be from the news. It's anything that's outside of you. This this external this external um, factor, this is also going to influence and project those beliefs onto you. And you're going to take it and you're going to run with it and you're going to mark it down as true, just because you've been socially conditioned around this environment. So I will, I want to talk about, I want to talk about one of my cousins, right? I have this one cousin, and one of the most common beliefs around my own culture is that being big is equal to being good. Like, being big, and it can be big like muscular, or mainly like overweight, just being fat and being big sized, equals normal, right? Um, and this is for both men and both women. Being big equals good, and if you're skinny and slim, it's viewed as like kind of different. Like, especially if you're big and you lost a lot of weight, there's going to be like mixed reactions to that. Like, you're going to have family members and friends that look at you and they might make a joke and just joke about it, or they might react from a place of like concern and worry. Like, like, are you okay? Like, what happened? Are you sick? Like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Nothing's fucking wrong. I just lost some weight. I just want to look good and feel good and be healthy. You see what I mean? Like, the growing up in a culture that has a certain belief structure, right? As being labeled as the norm, this is what a lot of people have to really work around. because you're constantly being conditioned and influenced from your environment. Now, going to when I mentioned my cousin, because I have this one cousin, this girl. She was, normally she's very big, right? She was a big girl, and she just wanted to lose weight just for herself, right? It's for nobody else, but just for herself. She wanted to feel good. She wanted to look good. She wanted to be that best version of herself and be healthy and just do that for herself. And so growing up in our culture, because we're in the same culture, a lot of mixed reactions. She starts posting her, progress photos and sharing her experience, sharing her journey. She's going to the gym. She got a membership. She's got a personal coach, and she's just super serious on this goal, right? And deep down, knowing that we come from this culture of being big equals being normal, right? Deep down, she still has this belief internally that, is she worthy of this success? Is it, should she accept that for herself, to look differently physically, to really be that person and look in the mirror and see that change? Like, that's not what she's used to, because she grew up in that same kind of environment. So she had these beliefs that she's kind of battling with. But she was progressing so much and she's getting so much better. And the mixed reviews from our cousins, our family members, her friends, and that environment. Also, she was dating this guy who is also of the same culture as us, really big guy. And he starts saying some bullshit to her, saying like, you know you're perfect the way you are. You're beautiful. You don't have to change. You don't have to impress anybody. I love you the way you are and all this shit. And you know, she starts to um, take pictures of all these cakes and pizzas and cookies that he's giving her every single week, every single, like, maybe every day. It was a while back, but she's sharing photos of all these paragraphs and all these messages that he's sending her, telling her what I just said about, you know, you don't gotta impress anybody else because I love you just the way you are and you're perfect. Don't change and any of this stuff. And she's just sharing it online like, oh, my boyfriend, he spoils me so much. Wow, I wake up in the morning with all these beautiful long messages, and after work I get all these cakes and cookies and this and that. And you know, it's all very comforting on the external surface level, right? If we look at it as face value, like, okay, sure, it's a nice guy. He's taking care of his girl, and he wants to, like, spoil her because that's his girl and things like that. But when you look at it on a deeper level, right? A deeper level of the beliefs and that influencing her, right? The limiting beliefs that, okay, our culture, our people are typically very big and overweight, and it's just normal. And when you lose all that weight, like, we worry about you, and some people really do. But all this to say, and what do you think happened to her eventually? She fell off of her discipline and she reverted back, and she gained the weight back and even more than she lost before that. And this is all just a case study about how your inner beliefs and your inner limiting beliefs influence influence you and your decision and what you ultimately want to achieve for your life. Whatever it is that you want, you're always going to be held back by your limiting beliefs. So, the first thing you want to do after you have identified what it is that's holding you back, you then analyze, where is this belief coming from? Is this coming from a personal experience that I have, or is it coming from an external source? Am I being influenced by something that was not originally my idea? Right? That's when you analyze it. And then the third thing you want to do after you have been clear with what the limiting belief is and you know where it's coming from, you then want to challenge that belief. And a good question to ask is, does this belief serve me? Like, does me believing this to be true, is this helping me get better? Is this helping me be a better person? Is this helping the world be better from me believing this to be true? Is this serving me in reaching my goals and having a better life? Let's say that, going back to the example of, you have this belief about money being, like, having a lot of money is just dirty, it's just not righteous, it's immoral, and it's not something that, it's just evil. Just having a lot of money is evil, right? Challenge that belief. Where did this belief come from? Maybe it came from your parents not having a lot of money. Maybe it came from, um, society and the culture that you grew up in, about being humble and also not having a lot of money. But then you want to challenge and ask, does it serve me to believe this? Like, really ask that question. Because what's the difference between having a lot of money? What's the opposite of that? It's having little to no money, right? And now, what what life would you rather live if you had to choose between not having money and having a lot of money? Nobody's asking if you're happy in this scenario or that scenario. Just a simple question: would you rather have little to no money or have a lot of money? The most obvious thing is, people are going to say they want a lot of money. Why? Because it makes your whole life a whole lot easier. Like, having money, like, not having money is 99% of everybody's problems. It's always going to come down to money. Like, if you think about your problems, whatever problems that you have, I guarantee you that five out of five, 5 out of 5, 9 out of 10 of your problems always is going to come back to money. You worried about health? Okay. If you have more money, you can take care of whatever you need to for your health. If you want to travel to a certain country, or you want to go back home to see your family or whatever, guess what? You need money, right? You want to lose some weight? Okay, you got to buy food. You got to buy the right food. You got to invest into, like, equipment, like training, and like, you need money for everything. So, if you know that you would rather have more money than little to no money, you need to work on the way that you view money. If you have a negative image towards it, you are going to repel it. And you're only going to attract the opposite, which is being broke, being in poverty, being poor, and all of this low vibration energy, right? Historically speaking, if you look at any of the places in the world that has low, like, low income, right? We're talking about the ghetto. We're talking about slums. We're talking about places where there's high crime rate, a lot of violence, a lot of disease, just a lot of unsteadiness. But if you go to like areas where it's a lot more affluent, right? Affluential, a lot of high end places. What do you tend to see? Is a lot more safety, a lot more happier people, right? You're around good health. You're around a lot of good stuff. Like if you are in those, more higher end areas, and if you just have more money in general. So that's something to really really look into. If it's something that you want, whatever the fuck it is, it doesn't have to be money, but whatever it is that you want in your life, but you always feel like it's such a battle, or like something is holding you back, and you know that there's something holding you back. It's going to boil down to the beliefs that you have, the internal limiting beliefs that's holding you back. So that's something that you definitely want to look into, and that's the message for today. Your limiting beliefs are the thing that's holding you back from absolutely getting the life that you want, living the life that you want to live, getting the money that you want to get, and ultimately just having more of those control over your life. So go and destroy your limiting beliefs, and for God's sakes, just give yourself permission to reprogram yourself. Okay? Reprogram yourself and eliminate all the social conditionings, all the things that you used to believe were true, and actually challenge them. Like, does this serve me? Is it worth it for me to continue holding on to this belief? Or is it worth me updating my belief system? Because that's what it's going to take for you to go from where you are now to ultimately where you want to be. You cannot do it being the same person. You cannot do it with the same beliefs that's been holding you back for years. So give yourself permission to reprogram yourself so you can finally do that which you want to do and attract that which you desire.